As I'm sure you are all aware, PoE has a million ways to die, and boy, do you find them. So why not give yourself an advantage and make your character the absolute strongest that it possibly could be? Well, ladies and gentlemen, Demon Slayers, welcome back to another video. I'm going to share with you a couple tips that you may have missed as you were walking through the zones. PoE doesn't really mention that you can get permanent buffs, including passive points, just from branching off of the main storyline. Now, if you're like me, I ran straight to the endgame on my very first character. I skipped every little bit of side quest that I could possibly do because I wanted to see what maps were. Well, what I did was I missed a bunch of really key and really important buffs that really would have propelled my character and made me get to the end game a lot faster if I had just slowed down and looked around the map just a little bit. If you're looking for an incredibly fun build to play, this monk build that I'm on right now, I'm currently 87, we are almost 88, and we are flying through tier 15 maps. I will have a link for this build in the description of this video, so make sure you check it out. It has been something that I've really enjoyed. And one last little bit of housekeeping before we get into these tips for you. If you are looking for an active guild, and I mean active because there are a lot of people, we already have about 150 members, and it is growing so quickly. We have a great stash that is a ton of gear for anybody that wants to take and give. Head to the Discord link at the top of the description of this video, head down to the clan join channel and get yourself in on the queue. That's going to be the easiest way for you to get into the guild. All right, let's hop into it. I know you've been waiting for this. What we're going to talk about are all of the side quests, and not only that, but all of the buffs that you're going to get from each of the acts. If you go to your waypoint, I should have most of these unlocked. If not, I'm going to have to actually take myself and go do some of them too. As we jump into this, some of these will actually change and only are specific to the difficulty that you're in. So when we hop into the very first one, we're going to be in Act 1 here on normal in any of the maps. And the easiest way for you to do this, if you pull open your map and you see a little plus symbol next to a skull, that means that you are going to get a permanent buff. After you have unlocked the buff, it will tell you what you got. It doesn't tell you before. You have to go and explore it before you get there in order to see what it is. So if I was to look at this one here, the Crow Bell, this one grants 2 weapon set passive skill points, and there's 24 of these. So if you go right here and you look, I have 24 weapon set passives that are unlocked. So you can unlock all of these as you go. Make sure you're not missing out on those. That's not the only buffs that you get. Inside of this act alone, we have 30 spirit. This is unlockable in Act 1 on normal. I actually missed this my very first playthrough, and I waited until I got to Act 3 in order to get some spirit, and boy, was that a mistake. I didn't make that mistake on any other character. What you're going to do is you just go right to Freythorn, you complete the area, and you're going to get 30 spirit. That spirit is super key because you need spirit in order to run a lot of the passive buffs that you're going to be getting. Right when you leave town, the very first thing that you can do is you can go straight over to the witch and you can get 10% cold resistance, and that is permanent. Resistances, especially when you get into maps, are super, super key to surviving. So if you haven't gone and got this, it's just going to make getting your gear in order a little bit easier. Now, I know we talked about skulls, but skulls aren't the only thing. If you were to look over here, Una's Hut, 2 passive weapon set skills also. So anywhere that you see a plus symbol, make sure you go over and you do that. Now, these are all of the ones you're going to get outside of the storyline. As you progress through the storyline, there are a lot of permanent buffs that you're going to get that you really can't skip, but these are all of the ones that you're going to get outside of that. In Act 2, outside of your storyline, you're going to get your skill points here from Keth. You're going to look for a sand pit. There's going to be a snake in the bottom of it. That's what you're going to kill. That'll give you your skill points. You're also going to be getting some skill points in Dashar. That's going to come from finding the letter. In Act 3 on normal, this is going to be where you're going to get additional spirit. This is also a very, very important spot, so do not miss this. You come right out here, you go to the Bog Witch. That's going to be another 30 spirit for you. Spirit is going to be key for pretty much every build, so make sure you head out there. You're also going to get 2 skill passive points down here. So this one is right through the jungle ruins, so it's easy to run past. You can just run straight past it if you don't look for it. So make sure you're exploring the areas as you go through them. Now, this doesn't show up on your map, but there is going to be some skill points that you can get inside of the temple here. You're going to find a gigantic heart. You have to find an altar, and on the altar is a knife, and then On that altar, you're going to sacrifice the heart. That will give you 2 additional skill points. So make sure you look out for that. It's really important sometimes to explore the whole area. I know that the maps are going to be huge, especially in Act 3. They are very long to get through, but you're going to miss out on some points if you don't get yourself through this. So now we're going to go take a look at Act 1 on Cruel. So in the side of Cruel, some things are going to change. You actually won't be getting any spirit from this anymore. You only are going to get the 2 weapon skill points here. You'll get the 2 weapon skill points here as well. These 2 quests are the same. And then you can get your cold resistance here. We don't get the additional spirit from this. Act 2 on Cruel, this one stays pretty much the same. You're still going to have to head to Jashare. You're going to get your 2 skill points from Keth. So those are going to remain the same here. And then Act 3, that is actually going to change as well. Act 3, you're still going to get your skill points. But what's really important is that the Witch now, which I've actually completed this one, I don't know why it's not showing complete, but you get 40 spirit from this instead of the 30 that you normally would get. You get a total of 100 spirits just from the campaign and just doing that. So make sure you don't miss these. You have to go out of your way to get through them. It's going to be super important to getting your character ready for maps. You want every single advantage that you can possibly get, because getting into your tier 15 maps and then up to 16 and 17 is definitely going to be a challenge. So you want to give yourself every advantage. If you want a full list of all of the buffs from the campaign, I will have a link in the description of the video to the PoE2 wiki page. It'll tell you the names of the bosses, where to go, and what they're going to give you as a reward. Those will be outside of what is on the map for you as well. These are just a couple things that I have done that have made my experience getting into maps a lot easier. I'm sure there are a ton of things out there, and I would love to hear what you have done in order to make your journey through this very long campaign a little more bearable. If you want to, let me know in the comments what you have done, what tips you have, and someone else may be able to read those comments, and this will help them along as well. If there are other videos that you would like to see, give me some suggestions, because I would love it to learn how to make content for this game. I'm brand new to Path of Exile, so this is my very first time making some content for this. So if you have some constructive feedback, absolutely throw it in the comments. I would love to hear from you. I'm live every single night. I've been theory crafting, and I would love to hear what you guys think. Stop by, say hi, catch you on the clip side.